Okay, folks, welcome back, I guess, to this. We're doing this again because people actually asked for this, so that's pretty cool. Um, just one thing I want to say. Like, I'm not necessarily saying that, that this anime is bad for getting stuff wrong, but I mean, dude, we live in 2024. Like, it's very easy to um it's very easy to make it's very easy and quickly to make research about like these kind of foods, you know. In fact, I did it actually. Let me see if I can find it. I asked ChatGPT to come up with a recipe for a giant scorpion, and it did just that.
Hey there, brave adventurer. Congrats on your epic scorpion slaying. Let's turn that beast into a medieval feast. Here's a recipe inspired by medieval cooking techniques, perfect for your D&D gathering. Medieval-inspired giant scorpion roast. Ingredients: 1 giant scorpion, about 1 meter tall and half a meter wide, 3 cloves of garlic minced, 2 large onions chopped, 4 carrots chopped, 4 sticks of celery chopped, 4 potatoes chopped, 1 bunch of fresh herbs, rosemary, thyme, and parsley, 2 cups of red wine, optional for that authentic medieval flair, 4 cups of beef or vegetable broth, salt and pepper to taste, olive oil, 2 tablespoons of honey, 2 tablespoons of vinegar, apple cider or red wine vinegar.
Hmm.
Instructions. 1. Preparation.
It's a
Clean
lot
the
of
scorpion
ingredients.
thoroughly, removing the venom sac and any inedible parts. Cut the scorpion meat into manageable pieces. The tail meat and claws are the most prized, so focus on those.
Not
2.
really.
Marination. In a large bowl, mix the minced garlic, chopped onions, carrots, celery, and potatoes. Add the fresh herbs, salt, and pepper. Add the scorpion pieces to the bowl, then pour in the red wine if using, and 2 cups of broth. Let it marinate for at least 1 hour to absorb the flavors. 3. Cooking. Preheat your oven to 180 degrees Celsius 350 Svapper. Heat some olive oil in a large oven-safe pot or Dutch oven over medium heat. Remove the scorpion pieces from the marinade and sear them in the pot until they are browned on all sides.
Hmm.
Once the scorpion is seared, add the remaining marinade, including the vegetables and herbs, to the pot. Pour in the remaining 2 cups of broth. Drizzle the honey and vinegar over the top for a sweet and tangy glaze. 4. Roasting. Cover the pot with a lid or foil and place it in the preheated oven. Roast for about 2 to 3 hours, or until the scorpion meat is tender and the vegetables are cooked through. Check occasionally to
I think
ensure
the
there's
honey and
enough
vinegar
liquid
are
in the
actually
pot.
for
Add more
preservation.
broth if necessary. 5. Serving. Once cooked, remove the pot from the oven. Let it rest for a few minutes before serving. Arrange the scorpion pieces on a platter, surrounded by the roasted vegetables. Pour some of the cooking juices over the top for added flavor. 6. Enjoy. Serve your
And here
medieval-inspired
is like
giant
the
scorpion
picture of
roast
the
with rustic
plate,
bread and a goblet of ale or
which
mead.
still doesn't look very
Enjoy the feast with your
appetizing,
fellow adventurers. Bon
but I
appetit,
guess it's
and may your
better.
next quest be as tasty as this one.
The scorpion doesn't look very appetizing, but I guess whatever. Um, oh well. But this is better for sure because it's clean. Like it's clean, bro. Like the food that they were making here was not clean at all. They didn't take out like the intestines properly, and they didn't remove the poison glands, the poison sac, right? Which I actually forgot about, but it's true, right? Because scorpions do have a poison sac. And I even went further beyond and asked ChatGPT about like how should like a medieval fantasy party of people um, go about things in a way so that they like so that they can preserve the food and eat on their travels, right? And it hit me with a lot of like good strategies for that, such as like smoking, salting, jerking it, which is basically like kind of like both, right? Um, Pemmican, which is like kind of like a biscuit of meat, kind of. It's a tough thing. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, it's basically like poor meat, pure like meat that is like dried to the point where it kind of looks like a candy. But it's like pure fiber, so it's like very nutritious actually. Cheese for like milk, right? Hardtack. What was hardtack again? Sorry. Oh yeah, it's. Oh yeah, yeah. This is like the biscuit. Yeah, this is the biscuit. Again, it's condensed like ingredients into like a hard biscuit that doesn't really spoil, so it's very nutritious as well. It's kind of it's kind of like the traveler's bread, flour and water from a dough, roll it out, baked. Yeah, it's the traveler's bread, honestly. Um, Dried fruits and vegetables. You can also pickle them or make jam, make jelly with them. Um, Sausages you can also make. So like there's like a ton of like techniques, like actual like medieval techniques that you can do to preserve food for your travels in a way so that you don't have to like waste food and throw away or anything like that. Um, and there's like this, like there are like channels who talk about like medieval food cooking. This channel is
That's happening
amazing.
almost exactly at the same. Like,
Um,
can't do bringing the food up to a
I kind of watch this video like once every once in a while, religiously. He literally goes about like every single preservation method that ancient people used to have, and it's really cool to see. It's also educational, so it's I guess it's a win-win. On medieval, this channel like also talks about medieval food. This guy likes to talk about like this is like more of a history channel, but he does touch on like historical food as well. And again, like I have the feeling that like like the people who made this anime, like they might have the idea that like oh like it's a common conception, it's a common misconception that people have where they're like, oh, it's like ancient people didn't really have the techniques that we have today. They didn't have like the technology, so like they didn't really knew how to cook as well as we do now. But that's not really true, actually. You gotta remember that like back in the day, there wasn't really anything to do. So like everyone was like basically like a max level cook, even though they didn't have like every single technique and technology that we have today. They still really knew how to cook their stuff. Like this is like how the peasants used to make food, right? So um this is a dish of like so they got like these like herbs. I forgot the name of the herbs. I think it's called like bitter sorrel leaves. I think it's called. So he's going to pound them and make like a little bit of a black grain out of it. Um, that is going to have like a bit of a citrus, like citrus citric flavor and a bit of a sour as well. A bit of a bitter, but it's not inconvenient at all. It's actually quite good. He they're also making like this is like peas on the pot, like pot peas. It's kind of like beans, but instead of using beans, it's kind of like a pot of beans, but instead of using beans, they're just using peas. Or I think it was lentil. I don't remember right now. They also like use like an actual like oven that they used to use back in the day, back in the day, which is more like a barbecue actually. It cooks food through smoking because like the houses were made of, and they explained this on the video. The houses from the peasants were made of wood, so if you cooked with fire, you could risk burning your house. So they had to cook with like smoke, right?
Garden peas.
You see, like it's kind of like a barbecue oven,
With anything? Or?
With some
and they were also like cooking.
It's not an open fire.
medieval mushroom.
I don't know if this is butter or lard.
And you're cooking on, it's not an open fire as such, it's coals, isn't it?
It
It's
is,
not
it's-
really flames.
No, it's charcoal. One of the things that you don't want.
I don't
to do
remember. I
is
think
to
this is
burn
lard.
is
I don't
fat.
remember
Fire
now.
and a pot over it. It's in fact.
It is
Delicious salmon because like before, like if you wanted if you wanted salmon, you just had to go to the river and fish a salmon, and that was it. You didn't have to buy. You didn't have to pay like $20 for two slabs of salmon. You know what I'm saying? He is cooking it wrongly though. He is fucking up though actually, because you're supposed to cook like the skin side first. You cook like the skin side, and once the skin side is done, you just like briefly turn on the meaty side, just to like get it like well done kinda, and then you serve it. So he's actually fucking up. Medieval peasants would not make this mistake. I'm sure of it.
remarkable. You've got your hot oven and your cooler oven, and you move things about.
Argos. And we get this impression from.
Oh my gosh, you fucked up so badly, you stupid cunt.
The reason we're not.
Feel real
So you didn't-
distortion.
Was you,
Yes, just in there.
This is like how they made the sauce. Remember like the pounded herbs, the sorrel? Yeah, they're going to put it on a cloth and squeeze it to get the sauce. It's going to be kind of like a balsamic vinegar sauce on the fish. So, dude, this is delicious food, and with like the beans on the side, a little bit of bread. I guess the bread is going to be like the dish. This is like, I am sorry, but this looks way more delicious than delicious in Dungeon. So, all I'm trying to say here is that the research is faulty with these videos. The research is not good enough.
It paralyzed my hand when I ripped it off, and now it's stuck.
Your hand looks like a gnome's in that state.
I can't tell if this is like a young dwarf man or if it's a female. It looks like a female dwarf, but the voice is that of a boy. I'm confused.
See. So it's an ivy tentacle. Rinsing with vinegar helps subdue the nidocite's barbs. Although depending on the species, it could have the opposite effect, so be careful. Cut an X into the exposed surface, then peel downward to remove the outer skin of the nidocite.
It's a banana.
Potatoes, carrots, onions. Peel the skin from the tentacles
Oh, so now they're going to cook that thing, huh?
and roughly chop them. Salt and pepper
The banana.
the kelpie meat. Put them
Dude, this is ironic because like this week I was actually researching how to make beef bourguignon, a delicious French stew with red wine sauce, and this kind of reminds me of beef bourguignon.
meat in a pan, and when it's browned, add in the onions and carrots and fry them.
Like if you don't know it, Let me see if I can Google it real quick. It's basically like I guess you could argue it's like the French stroganoff, but it's not really. It's this. It's I want to make this honestly. This looks delicious. I think my mom is traveling. I think when she comes back, I'm going to cook it for her as a welcome back gift.
Add that to the Undine. Make sure to skim off the scum, then add potatoes and herbs. And let it simmer.
Okay, now they're cooking. Now they're actually cooking. Just make sure to cook it for like a long time, like maybe 2 hours. At least 2 hours. Because potato on a stew potato and carrots take a long as time to cook.
It's ready!
It seems like they cook it for 2 hours. Yeah. Okay, so they made like a wineless version of beef bourguignon. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. That's actually like pretty good. I wouldn't really like have the banana, but I'm guessing the banana has like I don't know, like some bananas actually have like salty flavor. So I'm guessing this might have like a salty flavor. I don't know.
Start an incision at its belly and completely skin the frog.
That's a big frog.
Hang on,
For the tentacles, peel the skin. Gather the parts that have thin tips, set them aside, and
The
boil
frog
the
has
thicker
tentacles?
parts. Once done, mash them up and mix them with flour. Shape them into cylinders and gently
What, are they going to make like medieval gnocchi? Gnocchi?
press with a fork, then boil once more.
Senshi!
Hang the skins of the giant frogs to dry.
You know that medieval gnocchi was actually made with cheese back then. I wonder if like ChatGPT can come up with a recipe. Can you give me a recipe for medieval gnocchi? We'll just be here while she's doing that.
Take measurements and
What?
begin sewing.
Add olive oil.
Why
garlic
was
and
they
chili
taking measurements of the halfling?
peppers. Then the frog leg meat. Fry it all up, and it's ready.
So they made like a wait. They actually wait. What? Oh, they were making clothes out of the frogs? Why? Why? So I guess they made like gnocchi and spaghetti. I am honestly going to assume that this is like okay, because it's very hard to ruin a pasta dish. To be honest. I just don't know what the sauce is.
Gather the
What is the
parts that have
sauce?
thin tips. Set them aside. Flour. Shape them into.
Hang on.
Add olive oil.
Olive oil.
Garlic and chili peppers.
So it's okay. Okay, so it's alioli with pepper. Yeah, this is delicious for sure. It's actually one of my favorite sauces because it's very simple and very delicious.
Then the frog leg.
Oh wait, they're adding the frog meat as well? Now you fucked up. Now you actually fucked up. You didn't really had to add the. Okay, no. Okay, they nah. Time out. They actually fucked up. They actually managed to fuck up. So they could have like barbecued the meat and served as a cider. This is what they do in Italy, like they serve like the meat in one plate and then the pasta in another. If you really wanted to have like the frog meat on the sauce, what they could have done is they could have like minced it on the knife, like chopped it very finely. Like like you know, like canned tuna. That's basically what you're gonna do. Like you're gonna basically do like minced canned tuna, sort of like with the frog meat, and add a little bit of like add like a pinch of lemon to the meat, mix it really well, and add it to the thing. And they would need now that I'm thinking about it, they would need a lot more olive oil. A lot more olive oil. Because it's the sauce. The sauce is olive oil. They need to have a lot of it. I know it's expensive, but it's an olive oil dish. It's an olive oil sauce. Right? Additionally, they could have like chopped the garlic more finely. But it's okay. Like it's okay. Like this is okay. It's okay if you just put like blades of the garlic. It's not technically wrong, but it's better if you chopped it finely. Oh yeah, actually, one mistake that they made. Oh no, actually, and this is a big mistake. This is a big mistake that everyone does it actually. Everyone does it. Every single person does it when they're making olive oil sauce. Like alioli sauce. After you add the garlic, you have to add like a spoon of hot water, because if you don't, the garlic is going to burn. Even in the image, like even in the animation, it looks like the garlic is burnt. And the garlic is not supposed to burn. It's supposed to be like just kind of boiled, so it releases the flavor onto the olive oil. If you're burning the garlic, then there's no point in adding the garlic. So that's what you do. But it's a common mistake. Like literally everyone does it. Literally everyone does it.
Fry it all up, and it's ready.
Yeah, no. There needs to be like way more olive oil.
Then the frog leg meat. Fry it all up, and
There's not enough olive oil.
it's ready.
Man, they actually managed to fuck up the easiest sauce. How? How do you do that? And I don't know why they made like two different pastas. I guess like someone was not comfortable with eating gnocchi, so they made like spaghetti for them. That's like something that happens. But to be honest, you would normally eat this. Well, I mean, it's up to preference, I guess. It's whatever. But like usually, like alioli is better with like spaghetti. It's just slightly better because it gets the sauce better. But you can eat it with like with meat. I actually ate a plate of like how do you say like the what is the name of this fish in English again? Sea bass. Yeah, I ate sea bass. I ate bass, like grilled bass, with gnocchi. You can have it like and the gnocchi was like evenly spread around the bass. It was pretty cool. So you can, I guess you can eat it like that. I feel like if you're having like the frog like that, you should probably eat it with gnocchi. It seems like the spaghetti version doesn't have the frog, so I guess it's for the people who don't want to eat the frogs. So I guess it's not too wrong, but they still like burn the garlic, which is very much unacceptable. But like this is weird. Like it's kind of unacceptable, but it's also kind of a common mistake. Everyone does it. I don't know what to say about this. It's kind of weird.
Shave down some bread with a grater.
Oh, he's making breadcrumbs, like bread flour.
The giant frog meat with salt and pepper.
Oh, more of the frog. Okay.
Dip the meat in a water and flour mixture.
Okay, actually, I'm suspicious. Because, are they making this while they were making the pasta? Because if they were not, then I am a little bit concerned about the quality of that frog meat. Because what they should have done is that, like, while they were making the pasta, they should have gotten, like, the leftovers of the frog. You know, like, just as we saw with ChatGPT. They should have, like, salted the meat, the frog meat, and smoked it to make, like, a beef jerky out of the frog meat for them to, like, cook. Oh, shit. For them to cook later, or just eat it raw, actually. You can just eat it because it's cooked, it's smoked. Right? So, realistically, if this was making, like, if this was made, like, hours out of the, after they made, like, the pasta dish, the frog meat wouldn't really be this preserved. Unless, like, they use some kind of, like, preserving magic between scenes. Which is possible. Like, this is a fantasy medieval kind of thing. But realistically, you would just like salt and smoke it to make like beef jerky out of this and having as a traveling good, you know.
The giant frog
Bit of a traveling ration.
meat with salt and pepper. Dip the meat in a water and flour mixture. Work in the breadcrumbs.
Oh, I know what they're gonna do. They're gonna like they're going to bread it, right? Without eggs also. Right?
Dip the meat in a water and flour mixture. Work in the breadcrumbs. Then heat some olive oil and fry.
Yeah, when you're breading meat, it's very hard to get it wrong, honestly. The only way you can like somehow get it wrong is if you overcook it and then the meat is too dry. But very like this is very hard to get to do.
Boil down some red wine and seasonings to make a sauce.
Oh, red wine sauce.
It's ready.
So I guess the red wine is with like garlic, and it's like caramelized onions with garlic. Is that it? I
Boil
wasn't.
down some red wine and seasonings to make a sauce.
Okay.
It's
Okay, legit. This is honestly probably the best dish that they made on the entire anime. To be perfectly honest with you, this is actually restaurant quality food. I mean, you have like what I assume is red onions with on a wine sauce, like caramelized on a wine sauce, which is delicious. And you have like a breaded frog steak, which is basically just like just think of it as like breaded chicken breast, which is delicious. And then you have like a little bit of a, I guess this is like a vinegar olive oil sauce or something like that. Bit of bread and a little bit of a salad here. Yeah, this is delicious actually. This is like honestly like this is actually legit. This is honestly like the best dish they made so far. Unironically, like I would actually, dude. I feel like if I would make one of these like dishes, that would be it. I could make like the pasta dish honestly, but I would make it so much better than that. But yeah, like this is the dish that I would make real life. It wouldn't be like a waste of ingredients, but I would make with like chicken breast because we don't really have giant frogs in São Paulo.
ready. Mix flour, yeast, salt, and water in a bowl and knead well. Let it rest for a bit.
Go take a bath while it rests.
Shape it to your liking as you for a bit.
Go take
Yeah, you probably want to have hygiene before cooking.
a bath while it rests.
Shape it to your liking as you stretch it out.
So he's making
And
a
add
dough,
your
like a
choice
pizza.
of toppings.
He's making
Lightly
pizza.
sprinkle flour onto a piece of dragon hide. Then place it inside the dragon.
Inside the
Cut off
dragon?
the dra-
Excuse
then
me?
place it inside the dragon.
Huh?
cut off the tip of the dragon's tail.
Ah, that's so wasteful!
Now
It is.
skin it and place it in a soup.
Ooh, this is a Brazilian dish actually.
So wasteful!
He's making rabada. This is a delicious Brazilian dish, dude. We cook the tail of the cow. Oh my god, this is now we're talking, dude. Oh no, this is amazing actually. Yeah, we get the rabada. There's like two ways of doing this. I think the more traditional way is actually better than the more modern way. The more modern way is like you get the rabada, the tail of the cow, and you cook it on a pressure pot for like 1 hour, and when you like remove it, it's going to be like tender and delicious. But you can also cook it for like 6 hours on sauce, on like a beef stock. You can also put like a little bit of red wine. Oh my gosh, it's so amazing! It's so amazing, dude. It's one of my favorites actually. Yeah, like when you cook like the pressure pot, it doesn't have the same flavor. It just doesn't. It loses a little bit of flavor. Oh yeah, and here's the thing that I asked for, the medieval gnocchi. It's made with stale bread crusts, milk, ricotta cheese. Oh, it was ricotta cheese. That's what they used. Or any fresh cheese, but I think it's best goat cheese. Yeah, I think it's best to use ricotta cheese. Honestly, like ricotta cheese and gnocchi is amazing. 2 eggs, all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of salt, grated Parmesan cheese, and fresh herbs. So yeah, like this is basically gnocchi, but they're bigger. They're bigger than our gnocchi, and they're like a bit rougher. Let's see if I can find it real quick for you guys to see. They probably taste very nice. I like this channel, like Pasta Grammar. Let's see if I can. Yeah, this is the medieval gnocchi. You see how like they are made with like canesse, and then powdered with a little bit of Parmigiano Reggiano, and that's like the thing. No sauce, no sauce actually. Yeah, like as he said, like they didn't have the potatoes. That's why they made it with ricotta cheese. I want to make that as well. That looks delicious. But I would make it with. What would I make it with? I think I would actually make it with the olive oil, aglio olio sauce with a little bit of malagueta pepper.
Now skin it and place it in a soup. Cut the meat into a block shape. Place it on a heated scale, and after both sides are seared.
Oh, so he's barbecuing the steak.
To some seasoning.
Yeah, he's making like a American style barbecued steak.
It's ready.
And pizza. I'm not a huge fan of onion pizza, to be honest. I think onions on pizza doesn't go super good. I think that what they could have went with, if they were like they could have just gone with like, and this is something that I actually want to try. It's super hard to find here in Brazil, but I really want to try it. It's potato puree pizza, which is apparently a thing in Italy, and it sounds delicious because I love potato puree. So okay, here I'm not a huge fan of the pizza. Just because I don't like onions on pizza, not a huge fan. But technically, it is a right. It is correct. It is technically correct. The steak is also good. I guess like they improved the research throughout the episodes because this is starting to actually look good.
It's ready.
What the fuck?
Those guys were carrying some pretty valuable things on them.
All right. Let's only take their food and then sink the rest of it.
What? Why sink it?
If we take just everything, it means we're no better than they are.
What?
Once we're all finished, how about we eat a little something?
I'm okay with being no better than other people, dude. You're just pretentious.
Let's do it.
Loser. Wait, is that another party? Does like the story like move on from one party to another on season 2? Is that a thing?
No better than they are. Once we're all finished, how about we eat a little something?
Let's do it.
Okay, so this is probably like a mixed nuts salad with dried fruits. A steak. The steak is probably. It kind of looks like a rib, but it's. It looks too meaty to be a rib. So probably some kind of bacon, I guess. I guess it's a bacon. Okay, so it's like a bacon with bread. This is probably some kind of ale and some salad. It looks alright. That's okay. Oh my gosh, this thing has a face.
A pretty good harvest, if I say so myself. I'm glad I thought ahead and asked to borrow this axe from those orcs. Put the chopped ingredients into a pot with water and bring to a boil. When they become soft, remove them from the heat and give them a good mashing in the pot.
Pumpkin was like a very used like ingredient on the medieval times. They use it on like pretty much everything, and I feel like it is up to, like still today. Like I feel like in America, like Americans do a lot of things with pumpkin still.
Once it becomes paste-like, add some more water along with your preferred.
Wait. Oh, I should say it. It's. Hold on. It's not the kind of pumpkin you're thinking of. It's a different pumpkin. Oh, here is like the rabada. Okay. Oxtail, 1.5 kilos. I didn't know it was that heavy actually. 2 tablespoons of olive oil, 1 large onion, finely chopped, 3 onion and garlic, very traditional. 2 tomatoes chopped, 1 red bell pepper and yellow bell pepper, 2 bay leaves, 1 teaspoon of paprika, smoked paprika, ground cumin, 1 teaspoon, salt and pepper to taste, 1 cup of red wine. I knew you had like the red wine. 4 cups of beef broth, 2 carrots sliced, 2 potatoes peeled, 1 bunch of fresh parsley, oh my gosh, this is delicious. 1 chop. Prepare the oxtail. Season the oxtail pieces with salt and pepper and smoked paprika. In a large heavy pot, heat the olive oil over medium-high heat. Add the oxtail pieces in batches. Yeah, you kind of like cut the tail like in pieces, like kind of like sushi, but it's a little wilder, a little bigger than sushi. I don't know how to say it. Remove and set aside. Wait, what? Add the oxtail pieces in batches and brown them on all sides. Okay, so you have to seal them, right? Is what he's trying to say. And then remove it for a while. Cook the aromatics, which would be like, you know, the garlic and onion and I guess the whatever. On the same pot, add the chopped tomatoes, red and yellow pepper, and cook until they begin to soften. Deglaze the simmer with the wine. Oh, so we're just deglazing with wine. We're not like making drunken meat. Okay, that's okay. That's delicious as well. It's actually quite Mediterranean style. Let the wine reduce slightly, then return. Because we gotta remember, like, Brazilians are Portuguese descendants. Portuguese and Italian, essentially, right? So we got a little bit of like medieval, Mediterranean cooking style. Let the wine reduce slightly, then return the brown oxtail pieces to the pot. Add the bay leaves, ground cumin, and beef broth. Slow cooking. Once boiling, reduce the heat to low, cover the pot, and let simmer for about 4 hours. After 2 hours, add the sliced carrots and potato chunks. Continue simmering until the meat is tender and falls off the bone. This is a very important thing when you're making rabada. And actual food critics will be really mad if, like, I mean, if you serve the rabada, like, basically, like, the test to see if you did it right is they will get the fork and they will try to get the meat out of the bone. If it doesn't come off of the bone easily, that means you basically fucked up. Finishing touches, taste, blah blah blah. Yeah, this is probably like the most delicious. This is one of the most delicious Brazilian dishes ever. It's amazing.
Seasonings.
Onion.
Already smells good.
I don't recommend doing that. You're probably going to burn your eyes with the onion.
In that case, lightly fry it in some butter and then add in some mushrooms. Pour a little melted cheese over the top, and it's ready.
Okay, so this is weird. This is weird. This is like a pumpkin. Okay, the pumpkin soup is good, but the fact that the pumpkin is just staring at me with that face is very uncomfortable. And the onion, not a huge fan. Not really a huge fan. You know, like, if this was in Brazil, we would have added like prawns and cheese to the pumpkin. And we would make like a Brazilian dish we call the camarão na moranga. It's delicious, dude. It's super expensive. It's fancy Brazilian food, but it's so delicious, my dude. Look at this. Look at this. Delicious prawns on pumpkin with cheese sauce. Oh my freaking gosh, it's so amazing. Moranga is like a Brazilian version of pumpkin. It's a little bit more sweet than the normal pumpkin.
We've got tons of different ingredients. I'm having a hard time deciding what to make.
Oh yeah, I was going to ask something to ChatGPT. In Europe, what kind of pumpkin was available? Was the orange pumpkin we know only in the Americas? This is a bit of a curiosity that I have. Because I know that, like, I mean, isn't, like, European pumpkin just, like, green? Kind of different. Isn't that, like, a thing? Am I crazy? Isn't, like, it... Am I crazy? The types of pumpkin in squash available were quite different from the familiar orange pumpkin commonly associated with Halloween and Thanksgiving. Type of squash. Gourds. Is that it? Yeah, that's the pumpkin that I'm thinking of. I know Europeans used to eat that like a lot. It looks it looks like an old fruit because of the wrinkles. It's kind of funny. Old word squashes. Okay. So it was different, huh? I wasn't crazy. Anyway.
Maybe I'll use that new thing. Cook the barley.
Is that what we picked up from the 3rd floor?
I've been holding on to it in case we ran out of food since it keeps well. The cockatrice meat, the dryad
Cockatrice.
fruit, and the mandrake along with its leaves.
Cockatrice is basically like a bit of it's a roaster. So this is basically just roaster steak.
Petrification herb. Season all that and fry it. Now stuff some barley rice into the mandrake. The cockatrice new thing.
So he's making
Cook the
rice?
barley.
Is that what we picked up from the 3rd
Oh, it's
floor?
beans.
I've
White
been holding
beans.
on to it in case we ran out of food since it keeps well.
Wait, no, this is not white beans. This is white rice, right? Because he's cooking like white rice.
The cockatrice meat, the dryad fruit.
Rice is like really convenient. Like grains are very convenient for like travelers because they don't spoil. So you can just keep them on a pouch and cook them as you go. So it's really convenient actually.
And the mandrake along with its leaves. Chop up the depetrification herb. Season all that and fry it.
Oh, the depetrification herb on the steak is probably because like cockatrices are known for being like basically like the Medusa of Dungeons and Dragons. They petrify you into stone. So I guess like the herbs are to combat the effect, but the meat shouldn't really have that effect on you. I thought they would petrify you with the eyes, but whatever. You do you, buddy.
Now stuff some barley rice into the hollowed out brick.
It was rice.
Top it with the rest and put the brick over the fire.
Okay, so this is pretty cool. Like they're actually doing some kind of like Japanese cooking, like a teriyaki or teppanyaki, whatever it's called.
And then
What is that
Teppanyaki.
thing?
this here's a cockatrice egg. I'm glad I brought it along with us, but it's pretty dang difficult to use.
I have
Finally,
no
add
idea what that
egg
is
sauce
supposed to be. I'm just going to assume it's some kind of like stock.
over top, and it's ready.
It's not that field ration pellets are bad, but having them every day, I just think you need to have something warm in your belly from time to time.
Cheers to that. Meals should do a lot more than fill your stomach until the next chance you get to eat.
You know, you're quite sensible for a dwarf. Our lord's been sickly ever since childhood.
Well, are they in Japan?
His
Out of nowhere?
appetite was lacking, and it made everyone around him worry. However, no matter the situation, he would always eat the food I prepared for him. Sometimes I'd be summoned to the kitchen in the middle of an assignment. He was such an obedient child growing up that it made me anxious. The only selfish request he's ever made was the one that brought us here.
Please, Maizuru. There's someone that I wish to save. Lend me your strength.
I know that sushi was originally made as a
To think
preservation
some
method.
northern girl would
Like
steal
they would
his
store
heart
it
dur-
on, I think, on rice with vinegar.
During his training journey.
With rice vinegar.
What can I even say to dissuade
And
him?
he would store better
You
than
really
the
want
fish.
him to give up?
The head of the family
I think they didn't have salt. I think is why they did it like that.
bestowed me with the task of looking after the young lord. So I cannot act based on emotion.
In that case, then what do you think you're doing right now? If you have preserved foods, there's no need to go through the trouble of preparing a fresh meal. Why do you reckon he ate up all the things you personally made for him? Maybe you didn't realize at the time, but I know what you put in there. A little ingredient called love.
What are you saying? Are you proud of yourself for that one? Although, at this point, I just might give in. So depending on how things turn out, perhaps I'll put in a good word for those two. Yes, this will suffice. It's ready!
So this is a more Japanese style food. Miso soup with grilled fish and rice balls. Okay, yeah. I mean, it's Japanese food. Like they wouldn't get it wrong because it's their like it's literally their food. Yeah, this is correct. Oh, they're making an omelet? Oh wow, they actually got this the technique. It's very hard to do omelet. Oh no, they're doing the Japanese omelet. It's supposed to be sweeter, so you add a little bit of sugar to it. And you eat it with a little bit of soy sauce, I think?
Boil the diced dryads.
I think they didn't explain it because it's so common to them, like to Japanese people. But, I mean, it would be nice for them to explain it to Westerners.
When the eggs are soft enough to pierce with a chopstick,
Because it's very different from the French omelette.
drain the water, mix with the seasonings, and mash.
So is this pumpkin
Cut
again?
to 1 centimeter thick. Fry with rice on low heat, and then cut to 1 centimeter thick.
Did they not cut the skin of the fish? Because if you want to cut it like that, you probably want to remove the skin.
Fry
And
with
save it for stock or
rice
something?
on low heat, and then season.
Is this some kind of like egg fried rice? I'm confused. I don't understand this. So this is like the rest of the pumpkin, right?
Boil the diced dryads. When the eggs
Dryads.
Boil the diced dryads.
Oh. Aren't dryads like technically people?
When the eggs are soft enough to pierce with a chopstick, drain the water.
Yeah, they're making some kind of egg fried rice, okay.
With the seasonings and mash. Cut to 1 centimeter thick. Fry with rice on low heat and then season.
One small mistake here. I mean, technically, when you're making like egg fried rice, you really gotta like you really gotta stir the rice. I don't know if this is like the animators being lazy, but you really gotta like move the rice so that the egg spreads evenly throughout the rice and doesn't like get stuck on the pan. But yeah, like this is technically correct, I guess. I guess it's probably like just the animators being lazy. But yeah, this is, you know, it's Asian food, like they wouldn't get wrong their own food, you know. Oh, this is like the Harry Potter like roots, right? The Mandragora.
Up some mushrooms near the dryads. Hmm? Hold on. Are those little feet it sprouted? Probably my imagination. Place a pot inside the magic circle. Toss some butter in.
What kind of imagination you have, my dude?
To melt it. Fry a few garlic cloves, and then add rice.
On this case, like they didn't really fucked up, because like garlic doesn't really burn with butter. It just burns with olive oil. For some reason.
Add in mushrooms and seasoning. Pour in water and let it simmer for a while. It feels shameful to be making something this simple compared to the dishes I had been making.
Oh, shut up! Shut the fuck up! What do you mean? Nah, bro. It's all about the simple stuff. If you can make simple dishes delicious, that's when you know you became like a good cook, you know. So hold on, like, why is he complaining about the
water and let it
simplicity?
simmer for a while.
So it was butter, garlic, mushroom, a bit of rice.
It feels shameful to be making something this simple compared to the dishes I had been making. But I hate the thought of letting a young'un go hungry, so I'll do whatever I've got to do. At the very least, I could put some...
Yeah, no, this is fucked up. Nothing wrong with doing simple dishes. In fact, if you can make, like I'm gonna be like 100% honest with you. Like, if you guys can make like no, it's just pretty difficult. What is like a delicious thing that everyone does? Delicious dish that everyone likes to do. What is a delicious, complicated dish that everyone likes to do? gosh, it's hard because like I know in Brazil, but I don't know in America, because Americans don't really like to cook very much. Okay, let's go with like Thanksgiving turkey, right? Because it's like probably like the most complicated dish that Americans know how to cook. If you can make like an Thanksgiving turkey, that's like okay, you know, that's decent, but it's like it's hard to fuck up because the ingredient is so delicious. The ingredients that you're using are so good that it's actually not that hard to mess it up. But if you can make like a really, really good alioli spaghetti, like an out of like the ordinary kind of like pasta, like a spaghetti alioli with homemade spaghetti, garlic, extra virgin olive oil, and salt. You know, like only like 4 ingredients. You are a much better cook than the person who made the turkey. Even though the turkey is more delicious than your pasta. Like I feel like actually the best example I can give on this is potato puree. Everybody knows how to make potato puree, but very few people knows how to make potato puree like the French. The traditional French potato puree is so delicious that you can actually serve it to like a 3 Michelin star restaurant, and it is probably going to be your client's favorite dish. It's going to be better than literally everything that you do, even though it's a very, very simple dish. Because it's literally just perfection, right? And it's simple, but not everyone knows how to make like the French version of the potato puree. Either because they're lazy or because they just don't know better. So.
Cheese in. It's ready. Burst, make it spit out.
And this looks fine. This is like what? What is it? Like cheese rice? Actually, if he had stock and wine, they could made a risotto, like a mushroom risotto, but it's one of the hardest dishes to do in Italy. It's the hardest. Like it's like the second hardest dish to do in Italy. So if he wasn't very confident on his ability to do a risotto in under these circumstances, I wouldn't actually blame him at all, because maybe not even I would be able to do it under these circumstances.
Ready.
And he did complain about not having a lot of ingredients, so I'm assuming he probably didn't have like wine and olive oil and stock. So let's just say that like this is like a creamy rice with mushroom, and I guess like, you know, I guess that's okay. I guess I'll let it pass.
Burst, make it spit out any dirt.
Oh yeah, you gotta clean the clams, yeah.
Like this.
For sure.
Huh? Another name that the nightmare goes by is Shen. It's part of the dragon family. They kind of look like dragons, don't you think?
You're joking, right?
After melting some butter, place the nightmares in the pan and pour a bit of wine over top, then cover. To finish the dish, add a touch of soy sauce.
Oh,
and
no,
it's
not
ready.
soy sauce. What the hell?
What's this?
I don't know.
That's me when I was little.
The dream that the nightmares ate turned into a mirage.
I think I'm starting to remember things. Yeah, that's right. I was running away from something and suddenly a fluffy dog appeared. The dog and I went on an adventure to search for treasure together.
That's
It
cute.
was a really fun dream.
That's a pretty dirty looking dog.
It doesn't look all that smart.
What's wrong, Laios?
The way I remember it, it was a silver wolf and not a dog. Oh well.
But first, I need to thaw this. Might as well melt it with the magic circle. Oh, must have been too close.
Wow, but this is actually nice. It's like a sauna. We haven't been able to take a bath for a while, so let's sweat it out a little bit.
Oh, that's cool.
Wait, that comes off?
Why is it only me?
Gut the fish and then make a broth from the head and bones.
I feel like we're gonna smell like fish after this.
Finally slice a couple mushrooms and nightmares. Lightly boil the shapeshifter meat and remove any scum that forms.
Shapeshifter meat? Aren't shapeshifters technically humans? Are they eating like basically themselves? I am starting to feel scared. Would you eat yourself? Would you eat yourself? Yes, you would.
Some harpy eggs.
Desperate
And then add
food.
that mixture to the broth along with all the other ingredients. Pour all that into cups. Place the cups into the pan with ice golem fragments and put over a fire.
Ice golem.
Look, I made this from her fur.
Bored much?
Lastly, place some mandrake leaves over the top and it's ready. Hey, don't just start eating on your own. You've got to wait until everyone gathers at the table.
Why should I wait? I defeated that thing all by myself. I think I deserve to eat before the rest of you.
A meal's something you only start when everyone's together. Chilchuck, Laios is outside. Mind calling him back in?
Sure thing.
This feels great.
Is this guy for real?
Oh, soup with fish. That's not. Yeah, that's
First,
okay.
cut up the bear.
Yeah, this is decent. There's no way to fuck this up as well. It's just easy.
Turn its ribs into whatever portions you want. Season them and put them on the fire.
Oh, they're doing.
After both sides of each have been nicely.
Oh, fush. What is the name of this? I'm really bad at like French names. Cahet? Jahet? I forgot.
Browned, add wine over top, cover the pan, and then braise them. Next, boil the remainder of the fruit, peel off the skin, and cut it into chunks. Add some garlic and simmer all of it together. With the sauce finished, you take that, pour it over the meat, and it's ready. So are they like scrambled eggs?
Huh?
You said before that people compare souls to eggs. But if you're referring to souls that are mixed together, then what would that mean in relation to...
Okay, now he's cooking. This is very hard to do. He's making eggs Benedict.
How eggs are cooked?
Very hard to do.
For example, scrambled
Very
eggs,
hard to do.
a sunny side up egg, and a poached egg.
One of the hard, like this is one of the hardest dishes to do, in gastronomy in general.
Different stories.
Listen, Senshi. I didn't make that comparison for you to take what I said and try to make a joke out of it.
Who's making jokes? I was actually impressed by how interesting a comparison it was. There's nothing else that behaves in as many different ways as an egg does. For example, eggs get firm when heated, but the white and yolk solidify at different temperatures. Frothiness, moisture
loves
retention,
eggs. I think that's why he's
viscosity,
so happy.
And the most interesting
Do
one,
you want an egg?
emulsification. Even things that don't mix naturally, like
Look
oil
at
and
his
water.
face. Just the mention of it just makes him go like hyper.
Mix beautifully under the right conditions. Just
He's
like
crazy for eggs.
Wheat souls are actually nothing like
You're
eggs.
crazy.
mind hand me that
You're
bread
actually
there?
crazy. Normally you would eat it on top of bread and have it with what is it? What is the sauce you use it on this? It's what is the sauce you use on Benedict eggs? Gosh, I'm so forgetful today. I don't know what's up with me. think it's hollandaise sauce. Yeah, yeah, that's the stuff. Very traditional French cooking right there.
It's ready.
But you usually do it on top of bread, not on top. Wait, is that bread? No, it's. Is it bread? I think it is bread. It just looks like a pumpkin. Yeah.
Time to explain.
Yeah, this is actually a win. This is actually a big win. The probably the actual best dish they made so far. It's super hard to do this. The egg can like burst when you drop it on the water. You gotta make sure you don't like leave any eggshells on the egg, obviously, otherwise you're kind of going to ruin it. And while you are removing it, the egg could still burst and you could ruin your whole dish. And you have to really control the temperature of the water. It's very difficult to do.
This will take some time to explain. Let's see it first.
Let's see, this is some kind of fried rice with ribs. Oh, this is actually interesting that they're doing there. Like, oh, this is like very medieval actually. What is that? Dude, this is like so... They went deep. It's not Aspic, no. You're crazy. I don't think it's Aspic. Is Aspic? It's Aspic, actually. Okay. Yeah, this is, wow, this is... They went deep. Cause, like, yeah. This is pretty uncommon for today. It was super popular in medieval times in parties. Fancy parties with kings and nobles and stuff like that. This is basically like a gelatin of stock with very delicious like vegetables and sometimes a little bit of like meat, cured meat, like sausages and bacon and stuff like that. A little bit of egg. This is very fancy cooking right there, actually. And they actually made it like a two... This isn't like very common. This is more like modern like style of the dish, where they separated like the veggies side with the meat side. It takes more technique. It's a bit harder to do. Back in the day, they just wouldn't bother making that and would make like this mess, which is a delicious mess, mind you. But this is interesting. I'm actually surprised they went with that. Like here in Brazil, this is basically unexisting. Like no place served this. You only eat this in very expensive and fancy like gala feasts. Very, very rare. Oh, and this tiny little cup assumes that they're probably going to eat a little bit of like soft boiled eggs as well. Which is also hard to do, actually. Oh, is that a pancake? That's a very thick pancake. It's too thick, actually. I don't think it's going to absorb very well the moisture of whatever kind of honey he's going to pour on it.
There you are.
Oh, you're awake now.
Good morning to you.
I see you made breakfast.
Isn't it great? Mr. Senshi's an amazing chef.
Yeah, you're right. Senshi's the best there is.
Is it some kind of syrup? I think it's probably some... I don't know. Because I don't think they have like... I don't think they have like that maple in whatever they are, right? Because that's like from Canada, and they're in fantasy medieval places.
Chop up the summoned creature into the desired length.
Summon
Trim off the wings
creature?
at the base. Squeeze out all the moisture with a scrap of cloth. Salt and pepper. Take the wings and roll them. Dunk each piece of meat you chopped earlier into a mixture of flour, egg, and water. Then fry. For the wings, quickly dip them in oil to cook them. Serve with a sauce and it's ready.
I'm not a huge fan of worms. I know that here in Brazil, in Amazonas, in Manaus, like in the Amazonic forest in Manaus, they eat worms. And according to them, it's delicious, right? They eat, I think it's called coconut worms. No, that's not it. No, that's not it at all. ChatGPT is being my savior right here. Magui worms. But in Brazil it's tucuma. I don't like worms, dude. They're not, no. That's my limit. That's my limit right there. I'm not going to eat the worms, bro. No. No. I like no.
A griffin's weapon.
Like people who eat it, they say like it's a delicacy. It's like fancy cooking. I don't care. I don't give a damn. I'm not going to eat the worms, bro.
But neither of those things would have left a dent in a helmet like that. So whatever attacked Gillen most likely wasn't a griffin. With that said...
Is that liver? Or is that like a filet mignon?
The others. Marcel and I mistook Fallon for a griffin, so Senchi's party could have been wrong too. After all, there are several large monsters that have wings. Cockatrice, basilisk, harpy, siren, pegasus, simurgh, roc. Out of those, which one...
I like how this knight learned how to cook with the dwarf. That's actually pretty wholesome.
With blunt force.
The water's boiling now.
We just boil it? Should we add anything?
No, that's it.
It'll be a flavorless soup, though. Maybe I could garnish it. Come to think of it, you said the orcs taught you how to differentiate mushrooms, right? Have you ever seen those before?
Nope, those are new to me.
Marcel, you got this, right?
Hey! You come this far and then just dump it on me?
What's wrong with you? Whatever, we're done here. Even if we do this, Senshi isn't gonna...
No. We went through the trouble, so I'll eat it. I'll accept the results no matter what they are.
Oh, it's liver. Liver is like very tricky to cook. It's very dry. But it's super healthy on the body. So my tip is just make like a meatball with it and eat it because it's good for you.
It's ready.
He sounds so depressed. He sounds so sad. It's like, it's ready.
Meat
Oh
placed
shit,
inside
I'm
the
gonna die.
changeling's fairy ring.
What the fuck?
Totally different now.
Take the griffin meat and place it inside the changeling's fairy ring.
Changeling's fairy ring. Oh, so it's like magic, something like that. So it suddenly becomes Wagyu beef? Why?
It's totally different now.
It looks even tastier with the marbling. All right, let's make some soup.
Honestly, when you're making Wagyu beef, don't overcomplicate it. It's such a delicious meat that you can literally just grill it. You probably like if you're making like a sauce, try to make something that is not too overpowering because the wagyu is so succulent and delicious. You really don't need to add flavor to it. Make it as simple as you possibly can because you don't want to you don't want to overpower such an overpricey meat, and you don't want to ruin it either by making something crazy like a Wagyu beef burger.
You know, I understand now why Senshi starts cooking all of a sudden. In this body, I get hungry faster than before.
Wait, what? Is he a dwarf now?
You say that, but I've never seen Namari start cooking full meals out of nowhere.
And he's a human?
Cooking is simply what I do while I'm so.
And he's an elf?
Take flour, water, salt, and eggs and knead them together. Then let it rest. While you're waiting, add some chopped up onions and other vegetables to the minced meat and mix it all up. Make a cylinder out of the rested dough, cut into equal parts, and roll flat. Put the filling on the flattened dough and then wrap.
And she's a halfling. And I guess the kitty became a dog? This is super hard to do. This is super difficult to do. This is like Chinese pao fu. It's a Chinese dumpling, and it's super difficult because like it has like a stuffing, and you have to like basically cook the pao fu without. Oh my gosh, it's like oh my god. Let ChatGPT explain this to you. It's why is it so difficult to make Chinese dumpling? Jiaoqi, I think it's called, can be quite challenging for several reasons. Dough preparation. Dough is hard to make in general. Consistency. Achieving the right consistency for the dough is crucial. It needs to be soft and palatable, but not too sticky. It does have to be sticky though. The dough shouldn't be elastic enough to roll out thinly without tearing. Kneading. Proper kneading is essential to develop the gluten in the dough, which gives it the right texture. This can be physically demanding and time-consuming. Yes. Uniform thickness. Rolling out the dough to a uniform thickness is challenging. The edges should be slightly thinner than the center to ensure even cooking and make folding easier. Size. Each wrapper should be the same exact size, which is difficult to do when you're just cooking and you're kind of tired because you've done so much kneading and your body is giving up. Oh my gosh, it's so fucking difficult. It's basically like making like Napolitan pizza is super difficult. I would actually say I actually said risotto is like the second most difficult Italian dish to do. I lied. It's actually the third. The second most difficult Italian dish to make is Napolitan pizza because kneading dough is actually really difficult and demanding on the body. Filling preparation. Consistency. The filling should be well balanced in terms of moisture. Too much moisture can make the dumpling soggy and difficult to seal. Too little can make them dry, which you don't want because it's going to ruin it. Flavor balance. Achieving the right balance of flavors and texture is the filling is crucial. Oh yeah, the reason why I mentioned like Napolitan pizza is because this is even harder than Napolitan pizza, which is insane to think of because Napolitan pizza is already so difficult. Oh my gosh, Chinese dumplings are insanely hard, like for real. Like everything Italians make, like Chinese just managed to make like even harder, like yakisoba or noodles. It's crazy.
Oh, odd. Preparing the food in silence like that really helped me calm down.
I think we went a little overkill.
They turned out well, huh?
It's ready. Heat some oil in a frying pan, then gently put the dumplings in. Oh, hot! When golden brown, remove the dumplings and blot the excess oil. On top of Izutsumi having a small appetite, she won't eat anything she doesn't like. So it's important I take extra care to make sure she eats her fill. Tell me, what do you think?
You just fried them.
Would you not?
Huh? What if...
What?
Oh, it changed its shape. It seems as though the mouth does indeed act as a changeling ring. And there are many different kinds of dumplings in the world.
What if eating that makes mushrooms start sprouting inside our stomachs?
That didn't happen when we ate the hippogriff meat, thanks to digestion. Isn't it great? Now then, Izutsumi, help me set the dishware. It's ready.
That's so strange.
Bread! 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 Bread!
Okay, so that's it. That were all the recipes from Delicious in Dungeon. I am actually like positively surprised with the following recipes. The first ones were kind of like scrubbish, amateurish. Really not something I would eat even if people forced me to. They were contaminated. They were not properly for eating. No. And disgusting. I mean, like, honestly, like, the first like dish, the scorpion, is like contaminated with poop and poison. It's not edible at all. It's disaster. Like, the second one was just weird. Apparently, like, these bell peppers are actually like a fruit and they're actually sweet. But I mean, they are still like not the right consistency to become like a crusty pie. They would not like be better than like flour and butter for a pie. And even though they're sweet, and this is like a dessert, right? This is like a sweet pie. You are still not supposed to throw like full-on fruit on like that. It's kind of like too chunky. It's unpleasant to eat. This is eatable, but it's really terrible. Like this fucking sucks. And then like there's oysters, which I hate. Hate oysters. I don't know why people eat them today. There's like the undercooked stew, which is just terrible, not good at all. There is the bread, which could be a little bit better. It was fine, but could be a little bit better. There's like the bugs, which I don't like. There were like these weird coins, which I guess are eatable for some reason. And then the holy water, which is like not even supposed to be food at all. We started on the wrong food, to be honest. Oh yeah, and then they eat it as sorbet, which is kind of weird and disgusting. I wouldn't eat that. And then like the best food was probably not even made by the dwarf, which is kind of sucks to be him. But there was like some hits, you know, the lobster legs, like it's crab legs. It's delicious, amazing, for sure. There was like this weird veggie risotto, which probably eatable. There were the worms. I don't like worms. I would never eat worms. Get out of here. There was the shabu shabu, which was kind of like probably right. I mean, it's again, it's their food. They wouldn't get it wrong. It was missing. Oh no, like this was the barbecue. Yeah, the barbecue was probably right because like there's no way to mess up a barbecue. yeah, like if you're making a barbecue, it is going to taste delicious unless you overcook the meat, but still, that's still like eatable and nutritious for you. So, still not too bad. But you know, like right after we left, we start with like this, like kind of like this wineless version of the beef bourguignon, which is very interesting actually. Probably a restaurant recipe that you could eat in real life. There was the frog, which I am a bit disappointed at, and probably not the best technique right there. But and then like this meat, which was actually really well done. I'm just going to assume that the meat was not spoiled through some kind of magical means. And this was probably like one of the best dishes they made. I should probably make like a tier list on another video on like the best recipes they made. But I mean, I don't want to make this video any longer. The dough, the pizza is like a little too much to me because like it's just like onions on pizza is not a huge thing for me. Like I'm not a huge fan. But the barbecue, American style dragon barbecue is probably very delicious. There was the Brazilian style rabada, which took me home and made me happy. Wait, where is the rabada? Oh, it's right there. Yeah, it's hidden. But yeah, like it made me very happy for sure. I mean, not really Brazilian style, but still is like very Brazilian-ish, I guess. What else? There was the pumpkin, which I wasn't a huge fan of. It's okay to eat. It's just not super nice, I guess. There was the egg fried, the teppanyaki, probably delicious. Teppanyaki, I love teppanyaki. It's easy to cook, nutritious and very delicious. It's very nice. There was like the Japanese style food, which is correct. And the omelette style, like the Japanese style omelette, which is also correct. And then there's like this creamy mushroom rice. Also, like it could be better. It could be a risotto, but I guess they probably didn't have the means to do the risotto in the middle of a dungeon. So I guess they made do with what they had, and I guess that was fine. So yeah. Oh no, that was the egg fried rice. This is the cheesy, creamy rice. The egg fried rice was perfect. They could have like animated a little bit of stirring to show like the importance of stir your egg fried rice, but I don't know. Maybe there was like some budget problems with the animators. I don't know. It still would be nice to see for sure. The clams, yeah, I guess they were kind of weird. But it is what it is, I guess. I wouldn't eat the clams either. Not a huge fan either. Even though I like Italian cooking. This is just like a sauna, so it's not cooking. Oh yeah, and this is just like a soup, right? It's just a soup with some fish. So it's fine. It's well done. It's correct. Then there's like this French cooking stuff thingy, which looks pretty well done with the eggs Benedict as well. Wait, where is like the finalization? Yeah, there's the finalization. This looks like restaurant cooking. This is like actually. So I feel like on the beginning they weren't really sure like what to do. They were probably like going a little too crazy and going too many directions where they didn't really know what they were doing. But I guess like they at one point got told off by someone who knows how to cook, and they got their shit right, and they started to make like actually really good, delicious food. The eggs Benedict is like amazing. Like I'm really proud that they actually got it right. It's such a difficult recipe. Even with the cherry tomatoes, you do have it with cherry tomatoes sometimes, and it's a very nice combination. It was just missing the hollandaise sauce, but that's okay. The pancakes were a little bit too thick, so they wouldn't really absorb the syrup too well, or the honey, whatever they're using. Probably honey, right? Because this is medieval. So, you know, could be better, but it's okay. The worms is like, it's just, I'm personally not a huge fan. I really don't like worms. I guess it's technically not wrong, but I'm not a huge fan of worms, dude. This was like the thing that they're not even sure if it was safe to eat. The liver, right? The liver with mushrooms. Kinda weird. This is actually probably bad, to be honest. Boiled liver doesn't sound too appetizing. This is probably the fucking trash. But this sounds delicious. Like the Wagyu, I just think they overdone it a little bit. You really just grill it. You don't do anything crazy with it. You cut it into small chunks and you just serve it. Like there's no mystery, honestly. You just barbecue it. The Chinese dumpling, like again, very impressive. I do think they got it wrong though, cause like I see a little bit of hair here. I guess it's coming from the dog. They shouldn't have let him cook because, you know, he ruined it. And I do feel like they should have steamed it instead of deep frying because, yeah, it would have been better, honestly. But I mean, they literally had to fix it because it wasn't like too good, I guess. So they kind of cheated on this one. So kind of impressed that they managed to make like Chinese dumpling, but then they ruined it in the end and had to cheat to get it right. So I guess that's an L for them. But yeah, like overall, I am positively surprised with the remaining recipes of Delicious in Dungeon. I think they actually managed to make like a pretty decent, like, I think that overall, if they were hired by a chef to work at a castle for the nobles or for some kind of king, and if they had like a chef, like a knowledgeable, proper chef who knows what he's doing, he would like lead them to not make the clumsy mistakes that they were doing in the beginning, and they would probably actually serve very high quality meat. They just need the guidance of a chef though, in order to not make the terrible scrubby mistakes that they sometimes do. So I guess I would give it a 7 out of 10. Needs to be a little bit better, but kinda not too terrible by itself. It's okay. It's okay. So yeah, that was all the recipes, and thank you so much very much for watching. I'm really happy that people actually watched the first one, the first video. I wasn't actually hoping to make like a second one because the first one did got like copyrighted striked. Not striked, it got like claimed, but I mean it's cool because I'm not getting money out of it, so it's whatever. But yeah, like this is nice. Now I can see why people enjoy the recipes on this anime. I feel like the remaining ones were way better than the first ones. They should probably like put the last ones on the first so that people don't think it's like an amateur cooking show. But whatever. Yeah. That's it. You know, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next video. Goodbye.